All right, well, yesterday we told you about another thing that I was critical of the president for. He mocked a 16-year-old girl because she was the winner of the Time magazine Person of the Year. Now, he's getting a lot of heat for this. A lot of people criticized him for it, including me, and I was the original Trump supporter from 19 years ago. But Congressman Michael Johnson was asked about it earlier today. This is what he said. Republican Congressman.
People of this country voted to be carbon neutral in this election. You voted to be carbon neutral by 2050, and we'll do it. You also voted to be Corbyn neutral by Christmas, by the way, and we'll do that too.
Says Johnson. All right, obviously that was not Congressman Michael Johnson. That was British Prime Minister Boris Johnson. But since we heard from Boris Johnson, you get a sense of the kind of operation we're running if you're watching at home. We go to clips, we don't know if they're going to play. You know, it's a crapshoot. The whole show is a crapshoot. That's what makes it so exciting. That's what live television is all about. All these other shows, they're scripted, they're reading from teleprompters. You really don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know where John Tobacco is right now. He didn't announce where he's going. He's just gone. Where did he go? I don't know. But I'm still here. All right. So let me talk to you about this British election. Now, I think this is really, really interesting because this is the largest victory for the... So what happened? The Conservative Party won big yesterday, the Tories. That means that Boris Johnson will continue as Prime Minister. Additionally, this means that that Brexit is likely to happen by the end of January. Now, there's a lot of things that we can learn about this. For starters, this is the biggest Conservative Party victory since Margaret Thatcher's era, back in 1987. This is a huge victory. And one of the reasons there was such a mandate, and the smartest thing Boris Johnson did with this, is he made the whole campaign about Brexit. So what did Johnson do? He purged the members of his own party who were pro-Remain so that people knew if they were voting for the Conservative Party, it was almost like voting for the Brexit Party. So it was a very clear message. Remember what Trump did with the wall? You knew you were voting for the wall. You knew you were voting with Drain the Swamp. That's what Johnson did here. He made sure that if you voted for the Tories, you knew you were voting for Brexit. What else did he do here? By making the whole campaign about Brexit, he made it so that the Brexit Party really didn't have much of a constituency. And he sort of struck a deal with Nigel Farage and the Brexit Party so that they didn't run folks against the Conservative Party members. So now Brexit's going to happen. The president indicated he's looking forward to working out a great trade deal with the UK. And the nice thing from the American perspective is the Europeans, now that they're losing the UK, they need us more than ever. So we've got to work out a deal with the UK, and we've got to work out a deal with the European Union, and that puts us in a better position all the way around. But I do wonder, just as the Brexit vote in 2015 was a harbinger of things to come in the United States with the Donald Trump victory, people didn't expect Brexit and they didn't expect Trump. I do wonder if this Boris Johnson victory for the Conservatives is an indication that we could see Donald Trump reelected next year. Now, it's not always analogous. It doesn't always work out that way. Back in 1992, when John Major and the Conservative Party won in the UK, people thought that we were going to be in store for another 4 more years of George Bush. That didn't happen. So it's not as if the way Great Britain goes, that's always the way the United States goes. But I did think it was interesting nonetheless. All right. Let me tell you what's happening on the presidential race front. Cory Booker has not qualified for the debate next week. There's a big Democratic debate coming up in Los Angeles. There are 6 candidates on the stage. All of them are white. The most diverse presidential candidate field in history will not have any minority candidates on the debate stage. Mike Bloomberg is not participating in this debate because he's not taking any contributions, and one of the criteria for debate participation is that you have to meet a certain threshold of contributions. I'm betting, by the way, that they will change that going forward as they do the other debates, because who's going to watch it? She wasn't going to participate, and unfortunately, he's not my favorite candidate, but he's a candidate that I really like, Andrew Yang, who really wants to give me $1,000 a month for the rest of my life. He's not going to be on the debate stage either. So that's kind of a bummer. We'll see what happens. All right, there are now, by the way, you know what I'm looking forward to seeing tonight? HBO, and again, you should always watch Newsmax, but if you need to tune away from Newsmax, I am looking forward to seeing this Mel Brooks documentary that's on tonight. I am a huge Mel Brooks fan, and they've got this big documentary on HBO. The guy's 90 years old. He looks great for 90 years old. I don't know how he maintains the level of energy that he does at his age, but he does. He manages to do it. All right. We're also watching what's happening in the House of Representatives, because interestingly enough, even while the Democrats are planning to impeach President Trump, many of them are still going to his holiday party. Now, I am shocked the president's letting them go. I would say, you know what? Anybody that's not a vote against impeachment, you're not invited. What is the president gaining by letting these people go to his holiday party? I would say no, Madam Speaker. Sorry. You're a delightful person. I'm happy to work with you doing the people's business, but I'm not going to pretend to be nice to you when you're trying to undo the votes of the majority of the Electoral College and tens of millions of American voters. Why is he letting these people in? I don't get it. All right. We're also watching the aftermath of this situation in Jersey City. You know, this is the horrible shooting that took place at the kosher market in Jersey City, New Jersey, a couple of days ago. Now, the Jersey City mayor, Stephen Fulop, he said today that he suspects that Tuesday's shooting, the shooters in Tuesday's shooting, were also trying to target dozens of Jewish children at a school next to the kosher store that was shot up. Fulop said that the shooting could have risen to the level of the Sandy Hook Elementary School massacre in Connecticut, because a yeshiva was several feet away, and Fulop thinks one of those suspects seemed to go in that direction first. The two shooters, who had many guns, a lot of ammo, and some explosive devices, were killed by officers after police say they killed a detective and 3 civilians. And again, I want to give a shout out to Joseph Carrick, who's part of the Newark SWAT team, the son of our friend Commissioner Bernard Carrick, whose leadership during September 11th really helped us survive that tragedy. Joseph Carrick was part of the operation that killed these 2 monsters, and thank goodness he was there, because there's no telling how many lives he saved, or they all saved, not just him, but all of them. All right, but the big story, certainly everybody is talking about impeachment. December 18th looks like it's going to be the big day. The full House is going to vote on impeachment. It also happens to be John Tobacco's birthday. Now, I don't know what to get John as a birthday gift. You know, usually John's got money. If he wants something, he just buys it. So if you have a suggestion for what I should get John, email me privately, morano@nycradio.com. You can also send me an SMS text message at 8168-MORANO, or find me on Twitter. You should be following me on Twitter anyway, at Frank Morano. All right, coming up next, we are going to talk with Nico Romano. We're going to talk Brandon Steiner. We're also going to talk with my Uncle John on the economy. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Liquid Lunch on Newsmax TV. I'm Frank Morano.